Very good morning to all dear students. Warm welcome in science class. I am Soham Jagat. We are studying chapter number 2, that is also chapter number 2 of chemistry part. Is matter around us pure? In previous lecture, we have seen some basic introduction of this chapter. In that, we have seen that we frequently use word pure, and we have seen that this word pure is different meaning in science and in our general language. In our general language, layman language, pure means having no adulteration, means there is no mixture of other things in particular things. But when we talk about science, we called pure as we notice that pure means all the constituents particles of the substance are the same in their chemical nature. We have discussed what is chemical nature with the example of water, ice and vapor, that whether H2O is in form of solid, liquid or gas, it has more or less same properties in all three forms and same chemical structure, that is H2O. After that, we seen what is mixture. So the mixture is containing more than one substances. So what is a substance? We have seen in that pure form of matter, the mixture are constituted by more than one kind of pure form of matter known as substance, which means matter is formed from substances, and a substance cannot be separated into other kind of matter by any physical process. So the substance is a thing which cannot be separated further by physical process. Here the word physical process is very important. So a substance cannot be further separated into other kind of matter by any physical process. After that, we have seen that the mixture contain more than one substance that we observe. After that, we have seen one activity in which we divide the group of student in A, B, C, D name. After that, we have some mixture, and different mixture we categorize into two parts, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. That is important. Let's see the definition of homogeneous mixture. Mixture which has a uniform composition throughout, such mixture are called homogeneous mixtures or solution. Uniform composition, which means the structure is the same all around. For example, If we take a glass full of water and add 1 spoon salt or say sodium chloride and stir it well, what will happen? You can see taste of water from upper side of glass or from bottom of the glass or from between the glass will be same. So this nature is called composition is uniform throughout. Another example, in, in this same activity we have seen that if we put crystals of potassium permanganate or powder of potassium permanganate in water, what will happen? The water will colored. If you mix it well, the whole water is colored same. It will not happen that upper side is colored more or lower side is colored more. That we called as uniform composition. So the mixture which has a uniform composition throughout, such mixtures are called homogeneous mixture. And what are the different example of homogeneous mixture? That is salt in water and sugar in water, etc. are the example of homogeneous mixture. Now we have heterogeneous mixture. Mixtures which contain physically distinct part and have non-uniform composition. Physically distinct part. In the same example we have seen the two substances which are not mixed uniformly. What are these two substances? So you can see here group C and D can take different amount of copper sulfate and potassium permanganate or common salt and mix it this component. So these are two solid components which cannot be mixed uniformly. So which contain physically distinct part. You can identify potassium permanganate and copper sulfate. As we have seen, this is copper sulfate and this is potassium permanganate. If you mix these two, this and this, you can identify this that the mixture is made up of these two material and identify, and if by some process you can separate it also by physical process. So that is what we called as heterogeneous mixture. Mixture of sodium chloride and iron fillings. Iron fillings means small particles of iron. Salt and sulfur, oil and water are the example of heterogeneous mixture. Now let's move to the activity number 2.2. Let us again divide the class into 4 groups A, B, C, D. We divide class into 4 groups, that is A, B, C, D. Distribute the following samples to each group and we will give sample to each group. First group we give few crystals of copper sulfate. As we have seen the crystals of copper sulfate. This is the crystals of copper sulfate. This is powder of copper sulfate. It is nothing but the powder form of crystal only, and actually the powder or bit larger particles is also crystal. So group A has few crystals of copper sulfate. Group B has spatula full of copper sulfate. Group C has chalk powder or wheat flour, and Group D has drops of milk or ink. Again, we divide class into four groups: Group A, B, C, and D. Group A has few crystal of copper sulfate. Group B has spatula full of copper sulfate. Group D has chalk powder. C has chalk powder or wheat flour, while Group D has drops of milk or ink. Now, each group should add the given sample in water and stir properly using glass rod. Are the particles of mixture visible? Now what we have to do, each group has to mix given sample in water. What will happen in each case, and stir it well until it mix, and observe, are the particles in the mixture visible? What do you think? Copper sulfate, if you mix copper sulfate and stir it with rod, can you still see the particles of copper sulfate with your naked eyes? If you put chalk powder or wheat flour in the water, can you see it? Or if you put drop of milk in water and stir it well, can you see the particles of milk? Let's see. We can see particles of group C are visible. Now, which are the particles of group C? You can see here the chalk powder or wheat flour, which cannot be mixed with water properly. So it is distinctly visible. So particles of group C is visible. Now direct a beam of light from a torch through beaker contains the mixture and observe from front. What path of beam was the path of beam of light is visible? Now what we have to do? We have to pass light from this solution. How? Let's say we have, this is beaker of solution. This is not beaker, but suppose this is beaker of solution. Now we have to take a torch and glow torch in front of this beaker so that the beam of light can pass through it. Beam of light can pass through it. And we have to observe in front. That is like where you are seeing or where I can see this beaker. Here we have torch, here the path of beam, and from here, from your side or my side, we have to observe if we can see the path of light. Now what is the path of light? Path of light, you have seen the path of light. If you have seen torch light or street light, it has one kind of path in that. So we have to see is path is visible or not. Again, we can see that the path of light is visible in case of C and D. We can see the path of light in solution of, in mixture of, we have to say, C and D. What is mixture C and D? C mixture is mixture of water and chalk powder, and the mixture of group D is milk and water or ink and water. So that is the case when we can see the path of light. Leave the mixtures undisturbed for few minutes and set up filtration apparatus in meantime. Now we have to put the all beakers aside for few minutes undisturbed, so it can have no movement externally. Remember I said externally, which means there is some movement internally in the solution. Is the mixture stable or do the particles begin to settle after time? Now we have to observe that if this solution we have to say mixture. If this mixture is stable, which means no change in appearance of mixture, or the particles is settled down. Settled down means the particles we add in the water is settled at the bottom of beaker. So here we can see that the particles of C settle down, whereas the particles of A, B, C are not settled down, which means the beaker of group C in which we add chalk powder or wheat flour is settled down, whereas the beaker in which we add milk drop or ink drop or copper sulfate are not settled down. So particles of C settle down and particles of ABC are not settled down. Now we have set up a filtration apparatus. Filter the mixture. Is there any residue on the filter paper? Here you can see the filter paper. We have to make this cone-like structure from filter paper, and in filter paper we have to put the solution of different group A, B, C, D. This is filtrate, and in this filter paper we can have residue if there are any. Filter the mixture. Is there any residue on the filter paper? So we can see that the residue will be left in case of C. The residue will left in case of C. What is the mixture C? That is of water and chalk powder or wheat flour. So in that case we can have a residue in filter paper. Discuss the results and form an opinion. Now we have different type of mixture. Remember this. Group A and B have got a solution. Group A and group B have got a solution. Remember what is the mixture of group A and B? That is water and copper sulfate. Water and copper sulfate. So that is the solution. If we put copper sulfate and mix it thoroughly, that is solution. Group C has got suspension. Group C has got suspension, which means we can see here the particles of C settle down and group D has got colloidal solution. Group D has got colloidal solution. What is solution? What is suspension? What is colloidal solution? We will see this in detail in this chapter. Let's see first what is solution. In this activity, we have to notice that in one mixture, light path is visible. One or two mixture. In other two mixture, light path will not visible. So that is one of the basic and fundamental criteria. So remember it. In one solution, light path is not visible and particles of mixture are not settled down. That is the another criteria. So based on these two criteria, we will divide this mixture in different part. Let's see first what is the solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. A solution is homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So solution is a mixture but of homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So we have now learned what is homogeneous mixture. We have seen the definition that the homogeneous mixture is a mixture which has a uniform composition throughout. So you can see here group A and B has such mixture which is uniform in nature. So we can say that the mixture of group A and group B is solution. You come across various type of solution in your daily life. We have various type of solution in daily life. For example, lemonade, soda water, etc. are the examples of solutions. So lemonade, which means nimbu pani, soda water we know, etc. are all examples of solution. Usually we think of solution as a liquid that contains either solid, liquid or gas dissolved in it. Generally we think that solution is liquid only. It may have solid in it, for example salt in water. It may have gas in it, for example soda water, or it may have liquid in it, for example anything you can take that contains both liquid in that mixture. So that is our general belief, but we have to understand now that we can have solid solutions and gaseous solution also. Solutions are not just liquid in nature. It may have solid solution or gaseous solution also. In a solution, there is a homogeneity at the particle level. There is homogeneity in particle levels. What is homogeneity? We have seen earlier. Let's revisit it here is another example. Lemonade tastes the same throughout. As we discussed in today's lecture, that if we add salt and mix it thoroughly and taste it from top of the glass, bottom of the glass, from middle portion of the glass, you will have same taste throughout. So that is nothing but the homogeneity. This shows that the particles of sugar or salt are evenly distributed in the solution. Where one solution gives you same taste from every part, where there are same number of sugar particle or salt particle in that solution. So that is what we called as homogeneity in nature. Now we have one paragraph for alloys. You might heard this word alloys. If you have seen advertisement of automobile such as car, motorcycle, means bike, scooters, or read the advertisement of automobile, you will see one word, attractive alloy wheels, or you will see new alloy wheels. We have two kinds of wheel structure. If you can observe, in that old bike and scooter model, we have that metal wire structure that is usually in our bicycle. But you can see now our vehicle have different kind of wheel, that is 4 to 5 spokes are there. You will observe the silver colored, or in some bike or car they have black colors of spokes. So that is made up of alloys. Now observe that word alloy. Let's see what is alloy. Alloys are the homogeneous mixtures of metals and cannot be separated into their components by physical methods. So what is alloys? Alloys are the mixture of two metals, two or more metals, and that cannot be separated by any physical method, which means that the spokes in the wheel, which we can say that made up of alloy, that is mixture of two or more metals. But still an alloy is considered as a mixture because it shows as properties of its constituents and can have variable composition. We consider alloy as mixture. We do not consider alloy as solution because it shows properties of its constituent and can have variable composition. It shows a property of every metal which we mixed in it. Brass is a mixture of approximately 30% zinc and 70% copper. You have seen the brass parts which is used in industry. So this brass is made up of 30% zinc and 70% copper. So in this lecture we have seen the different mixture divided in three parts, that is solution, suspension and colloidal. And what is solution? and example of solution. And now we have also cleared that solution may have solid, liquid or gas.